The RAD Podcast is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, I am Paul, the Hat Guy Flinders, and you are listening to the RAD Podcast, the Random Ass Discussion Podcast. And joining me this week is my co-host, Alan Morrison.
Hello.
How are we doing? How's your week been since the last podcast?
It's been a long one. It's been an interesting one. Quick trip to the hospital on Saturday night. Wife thought she went into labour, but all
Not
things
the
are good.
this
So
term.
she hasn't gone into labour. It was just a severe case of Braxton Hick, so it's not too bad. So got out of work early for it, so I can't complain.
Oh, nothing wrong with that, my friend. Nothing wrong with that. Early dark, why not? I can't say we had anything notable like Braxton Hicks. When me and my partner, we've got two kids, and we never had anything like that, Braxton Hicks or anything.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Either you get them or you don't get them. So.
Yeah. We just ended up one which came out, it was late, didn't want to come, so got, induced. The other one was too cosy, didn't want to come, so she got induced. Problem is she started cartwheeling, so...
cartwheeling in the womb.
Pretty much, she was breached, so we originally got to go in a week early. A week before the due date, and we were told if she's still breached, then you're basically she's she's coming through the sunroof. But when we got there, we got a scan. We all hyped herself up for a section, everything, and look, bastard had turned, didn't she? So she was back right way, and she was engaged. And was like, "Well, yeah, you don't need a section now. You're going home." But what? We've geared herself up, we've been psyching herself up, Kirsty's been absolutely shitting it. And we're going home. So another week goes past, and we're told that she's going to get induced on a due date.
Yeah.
And we go in, get a scan, and she's not breech, but she's not head down, she's transverse. So Kirsty spent about 8 days in hospital altogether.
Yeah.
With this, in the end, she ended up going into labour. We were up all night and she didn't budge. Nothing happened. So we ended up having an emergency section, which was the most leisurely emergency I've ever seen.
When there's, we'll cut you open, we'll take you out.
Yeah, it's just one of them. Yeah, it was basically, they come in and say, look, you've been at it for a stupid amount of time now, and it's time to put you out of your misery, basically, open the sunroof. Yeah. So that's what happened. And, from being told that to baby coming out, it took an hour. So, yeah.
Farted and it turned up, basically.
Basically, yeah. So the doctor turned around and went, right, you've been here long enough, we want you out. So that's how Ruby happened. And then 24 hours later, we were home. So...
Good stuff.
So yeah, how long now left?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Oh well, get the boat. We'll get the boat.
Gone into full term technically.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, well, it's been viable. They've been viable. It's a he, isn't it, or is it a she?
It's a he.
It's a he.
Daniel.
Yeah. So yeah, he's viable. He's been viable for a long time now, anyway. So
yeah,
you'll be right, mate. Now
ready to go.
You're over the worst of it now, pal. You are, the missus ain't, but you are. So, yeah. But, yeah, well, in relation to you, I've had a really quiet one. I actually, for the first time in months, I actually had a lie-in, a proper one. Proper lie-in on Sunday. Didn't get up till 10:30. For me, a lie-in consists of 7:30 if you're lucky.
Oh, wow.
Normally, but 10:30 felt like I'd slept all day. Felt like, why the bloody hell's half the day gone?
Is it bad at anything past 10:30? Just a regular wake-up call?
Yeah. That's you and your job, though, and you know, we're having grown-up kids that can kind of get up, get dressed themselves, and you know, sort themselves out. But that will change when Squirt comes.
It will. That will.
When they're completely dependent on you, mate, you'll have to get up.
I know.
You know, hello, 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah, but we're there at the minute, though. So, you know, the eldest kind of gets up 5:30. He gets told now to go back to bed. So, yeah, he goes back, and then, you know, eventually he'll go to sleep for 15 minutes and then come back in again. And then we think, fuck it, where's I'll get up now?
Exactly.
So that's it. So, yeah, I've been on a pretty quiet week. I've had nothing work, and then that's it, pretty much.
Nothing busy then?
No, nothing busy. But I've watched a little bit of telly recently, you know, the past, we haven't been a quiet week, you know, quiet at work, you know, but quiet, you know, at home. Been watching quite a bit of news on the TV things, and one thing caught my attention was you've probably seen it, you're not completely close. The Ched Evans case.
Yeah.
He's
finally been acquitted for the raping of the teenager.
That's right, yeah. He spent 2.5 years in prison for apparently a crime he didn't commit.
I don't know. It's a hard one, that one. Because, how would I put it? There was a lot of speculation that he never treated his wife right. There's never spoke to women right in general, always violent towards him and all that. But then the other side is, was the girl lying just to get famous, to earn compensation? At the end of the day, he's a multi-million-pound football star.
I don't think he was that successful, but he was well off.
Well, he had, 44 caps for Wales?
Something like that. It was,
44 caps for Wales. And he was he's playing for a Premiership team, so...
I think he's playing... Who's he playing for now? I think it's Colchester. He's playing for in a minute, or Chesterfield. He's either Colchester or Chesterfield, one or the other.
It's Colchester.
So, he's playing for them at the minute. It's... The way the thing is, if he's been in prison for 2.5 years, there must have been something there that, beyond reasonable doubt, there was there, and then obviously you've got to be actually, convicted. There's got to be something 100% in concrete to say that yes, you're the person that did it. You're going down. Now, I watched. I just caught. The missus was watching Loose Women this afternoon, and I kind of caught it in the background, and I just pricked my ears and listened, and. The kind of I was like sitting on the fence with this Ched Evans thing. And I was expecting, with it being Loose Women, for the record, I can't stand this fucking program. I can't stand feminists.
Stop lying! You absolutely love it. You tune in every day just to watch it.
Shh. But anyway, they were proper sitting on the fence, and one of the hosts, I can't remember who it was. Pretty much said, and I quote, I'm kind of quoting with my own words, that he wouldn't, that if it was his family, his kids, the kids in his family, she suggested to them that they don't go to Ched Evans for sex health advice. And I saw on Facebook about 3 hours ago that apparently Ched Evans is now seeking his lawyers to sue them for basically interpreting the evidence wrongly and sullying his name, shall we say. Potentially...
They can claim back the whole Freedom of Speech Act.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen, but the thing is, it's just dragging it again through the courts. It's going to keep it people, fresh in the mind. And next thing, I can see it in about 3 or 4 years. Ched Evans' autobiography is going to be in Poundland. Can see it coming. But what I was thinking of was, because my thoughts on this was, it's not really, it's related to this, because potentially, because I don't know the full details of it, we're not going to know the full details of the case. But do we even know the identity of the woman, or just the age?
I think it's just the age.
Yeah, we don't.
What's the how old she was supposed to be? I think for legal reasons they had to keep it in.
Yeah, keep it hush hush because of her age.
Yeah, but at the same time, same again. It's the whole what is it? Screaming wolf. All right, fair enough. He may be guilty, and they've seen another light. Say, right,
don't get me wrong. He's, from what I've heard of what they've done, he's a fucking scumbag. But definitely. He plied a girl with that much drink she couldn't fucking walk, and then apparently his mates filmed it through the window.
Yeah, but at the same time as well, you've got to think about. It's turned into quite of a trend thing to do, is falsifying rape reports.
Yes, this is what I was wanting to get into. Was what I was thinking is should women who cry rape and then get found out that they're lying be punished for it? I mean, should they get the same punishment the rapist would have got if they was found guilty for lying about it and be, potentially, for example, this guy here, it's Ched Evans, obviously we know who he is, but it could be some random guy, just round the corner, and they've lost 2.5 years of their lives, and they're never going to get that back. For him, like I say, Ched Evans has been in prison for 2.5 years, and like I say, you'll never get it back. And this woman will probably just go, okay, I've been found not guilty, on with my life. I don't agree with that one jot.
Technically, they've lied in court, so it should be illegal proceeding in criminal damage.
Well, it's contempt of court, isn't it?
Yeah, they've lied in court, so technically, anyone of that caliber should go automatically being gone, right, okay.
It's perjury.
We're charging
perjury. Perjury. Yeah, sorry, not contempt of court. It's perjury.
So we're charging you with perjury, and we'll be sentencing you. But at the same time, you're going to have a whole lot of black feminist activists going on to say, "Oh, but this, oh, but that," and they're going to get off scot-free. No one wants to hurt feelings.
Well, in this case, for example, with the Ched Evans thing, she was absolutely slaughtered. So, you can't really call, she in her mind, because you think, I was absolutely fucking legless and took advantage of me. Yeah, I didn't consent. But it's not technically rape. You know what I mean? Because if there was some sort of consent there, any way, shape or form, it can't be done for it. But this is where I kind of disagree, because if they're in no position to consent, then they can't consent. Do you know what I mean?
Unless this video evidence proves
otherwise. Yeah, but I don't think anyone. I don't know if I've heard anything of using it as evidence. I've not heard anything, but yeah. But here's another thing as well. Should suspects who are accused of rape should they remain anonymous until convicted?
Well, they should be, because at the end of the day, if it's like I said before about false being accused of rape, right? Say he lives in a nice, peaceful, street, and then the local news going, Mr. Bloggs from, 225 High Street, raped such and such, who's technically an underage in the eyes of the law, underage in the eyes of the law, he's been let off on bail. That right there is just a basic excuse for a manhunt.
Yeah, it's just it's inviting everyone round to get the pitchforks and the torches and the angry mob, and to basically kick the door down and do what they please. But like I say, for me, if I'm honest with you, they shouldn't even cover it. Well, they could possibly, say like in the Gazette, they have like a listing every week of high profile, high profiles you can get in the magistrates, i.e. putting a brick through somebody's window probably, but this is the Gazette, it's more likely will be, but you can get like a listing of what's been going on in the magistrates.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that sort of thing, that's, you cover it that way. If, Mr. X is accused by, Miss Y or whatever. But obviously, if you're providing coverage of said case and you're giving the person's name, you're already setting them up for a fall, because people will judge you guilty before you. It's especially with rape charges, rape cases. Guys are automatically guilty.
Exactly.
Automatically guilty. They're guilty until proven innocent in these rape charges. Look at Ched Evans.
Yeah.
But any other thing, you're innocent until proven. And it's just the mentality. It's wrong. And like I say about the point about women being punished for lying about rape, there's actually, I read on Facebook earlier today on I can't remember if it was on. I don't want to give them that much credit, but Lad Bible. Mm-hmm. There was a thing in America where a woman got cried rape about these three black guys. And said she got tied up and beaten up and bloodied and put in the back of her car by these three black guys and raped. When in fact, she asked them for all they did was ask her for some directions and then went off. But then she's actually been jailed for crime rape.
That's good.
That is good. That's the way it should be in this country. I'm not being funny. If you're doing it just to get back at the disgruntled ex, trying to get back at someone, so they've split up with me. I didn't want them to go. Do you know what? I'll just cry rape. Get my own back on them. I'll cry rape. No, if you do that sort of thing, you're a fucking cunt and you should be sent down.
Yeah.
Simple as that. That's my opinion on it. And I think it should be complete anonymity. I can't even say the word. Anonymity until there's a solid proof and there's a conviction. That's my opinion on it. Listeners, if you agree or disagree, let us know. Basically, we'll continue the discussion.
Just message down in the comment section on Facebook and another such place. It's always good to have a little discussion about these sort of things online, because end of the day, everyone's different. Everyone has their own personal views in that. So, love to hear from you.
This is the discussion part of the random. We want some discussion, not just between ourselves, but our listeners as well. We want our listeners to be involved as much as possible.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to talk about?
Well, the growing escalation of Russia.
Oh yes.
Recent reports shown that a very, I won't say small because it's Russia, is anything but small, naval fleets been sighted in the channels. A nuclear aircraft carrier, a couple of frigates, and a destroyer of some description, all making their way through it. Well, basically, it's Russia once again flexing their muscle. Yeah,
it's the what can I say? It's the military equivalent of Venice Beach.
Yeah,
so basically.
It's basically there was a statement not so long ago saying basically this day and age it's worse than the Cold War. Now, if you weren't around for the Cold War, or if you never heard about the Cold War and you're thinking it was just a war in Africa, in Antarctica or something like that, no. The Cold War was basically, it was a standoff between the Western world and against Russia, mostly against the US. Everyone was stockpiling nuclear weapons, big, massive standoff. Look up the Cuban Missile Crisis of the 50s. That pretty much will explain everything.
Or play Metal Gear Solid 3.
Or if you're a gamer, Metal Gear Solid. You hold Metal Gear Solid full stop.
Metal Gear Solid 3, the timeline up to about Phantom Pain, is your Cold War coverage in gaming form, basically.
So basically, what's happened is, because of the whole the Syrian fiasco, everyone's going, well, we're getting sick of this. The US, the British, the French, the Germans are all bombing the shit out of Syria. The Russians are being Russians and bombing the shit out of Syria, but the opposite targets. They're claiming they're taking out terrorism. We're claiming we're taking out terrorism, but we seem to be bombing the same different sides here.
Same country, different sides.
Yeah. So Russia have gone, if you guys do not pack it in, we're setting up our nukes and we're ready to press the button. Now, Vladimir Putin, the Prime Minister of Russia, aka the bear, aka the big guy, aka...
psychopath.
Yeah, pretty much. Has moved all his nuclear armaments, which are active, to the borders of Russia towards European sides, all aimed at various targets. Americans have stepped in and gone, no, we're not having this. We're going to go to the UN and NATO and cry, and we want extra sanctions onto the country. This country can stand on its own 2 feet. So doing all these sanctions ain't going to solve anything. Now, the problem is with what's happening is it's 2 big countries literally bouncing off each other.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of playing rock, paper, scissors and getting 2 rocks.
Now, there's loads of speculation in the press going, nuclear war is imminent. ISIS have finally got what they wanted. Basically, means the destruction of the of
Western society.
Western society. They're playing off one each other, which is true. I fully agree with that. They pretty much have done.
It's fucking shite though. There's no way they've gone, you know what, we'll piss it off to such a point where we'll piss off Russia in a slightly different way. And then, we'll piss off the rest of the Western world and get them fighting each other. No, all they want to do is just take out Western society full stop. They're not even giving a second thought against Russia. It's just one of them. It's just something that's kind of slipped into place and it's gone, jackpot.
But what America keeps forgetting, you got our little old island sat between them and Russia, and pretty much everything's pointing at us. We're going to get the naval fleet coming through, passing our coasts. We have had the Iron Curtain Patrol back up again with the... I can't remember what the bomber's called, but it's codenamed the Bear, which is basically it's their version of the B-52 bombers. And we've had many Typhoon scrambles go up and say, "Oi, bugger off!" But it's getting stupid now because we're all sitting here going, "Oh yeah, clowns attacks this. Oh, Kim Kardashian." This some crazy mid-40s person singing on the X Factor, rapping, and it's kind of got stupid that everyone's more interested in that than realising, hang on a minute, we could have a third world war going off here, and no one gives a shit. Where's the logic behind that?
All I'm going to say is, if there was a the only coverage I've really seen of that is the odd little bit relating to Syria on the news and a little bit of sensationalism on the internet. Now, if there was any real substance to actually potentially being a World War III, we would have heard about it on the mainstream news.
And there has been. It just doesn't seem to be taking priority over...
everyone gives a fuck about reality TV.
Yeah, that's what really annoys me. X Factor, for fuck's sake. Who's this? What's it called? A rapper of mid-40s.
Oh, Honey G.
Honey G, that's it. What the fuck? Who cares?
It's like Eminem's mum.
Yeah, who fucking cares? End of the day, that's not exactly what we call news.
That's how World War III. That's how World War III is going to be fought, isn't it? We're going to get all the world leaders, the major nations that are, in conflict with each other, and they're all going to have a sing-off, and we're going to vote them off one every week.
Simon Cowell is the overall ruler.
Yeah.
But then you got Kim Kardashian with the whole being held at knife point for being robbed. There's hundreds and thousands of knife point robberies throughout the world, but no one reports about that.
Yeah, but Kim
Kardashian... if someone famous does it, it's like, oh no, it happened in Paris. We've got to step up the whole security. No. She opened a gob on Snapchat saying, I am staying in such and such hotel. This is our lovely room. Oh, look, there's our room number. guess what? I've just had an open invitation and someone's come up me and robbed me.
Here's a question for you as well. With all the horrible shit that's been happening in Paris, would you want to set fucking foot in that place?
Yeah. Simple as, generally because, well, fuck you. Fuck you, ISIS.
Yeah, well, there is that as well, but, to be fair, like you say, you're absolutely right. If we did go say, well, I'm going to avoid such and such a place, they win, basically. Yeah. So, yeah, your mentality's spot on, basically.
End of the day, you're not going to stop me from enjoying, say a weekend away in Paris, a romantic weekend with your girlfriend, wife, boyfriend, husband, whatever, partner, right? That's not going to be in the top of your list to think about, oh, hang on a minute, it's been ISIS trouble there. It's been ISIS trouble everywhere.
Exactly. If they're going to hit you, they're going to fucking hit you.
London, with that...
7/7 bombings.
No, the soldier that got hacked.
Oh, the Lee Rigby one.
Yeah. You don't see people not coming to London.
This is true. Right? This is true.
Turkey. Right? Turkey gets bombed out left, right, and bloody centre. People still go on holiday there.
Because it's fucking cheap.
Same as Tunisia with that mass murder in the
hotel. The psycho with the AK, yeah.
I can name off loads. Sri Lanka with the... I can't remember the tiger something.
Yeah.
It's terrorism. At the end of the day, it's just being arseholes.
Yeah, it's...
it winds me up.
Yeah, if you stop your normal way of thinking and your normal activities to work round these events that are happening, then they're fucking won. So, carry on. I'm just looking at your picture on the Skype as we're talking. It says, I will not keep calm and you can go fuck yourself. But the actual thing it's based on is keep calm and carry on. And that's exactly how people's mentality should be. You're absolutely right on that one.
Why do you need to start panicking over something stupid?
Yeah.
You've got more chance of getting hit by a bloody bus, right, than actually getting shot to shit by a terrorist.
This is it. And if I'm not being funny, but if you get shot to shit by a terrorist, you're not going to fucking feel anything.
Apart from a couple of lead bullets going through you, nothing major. Which leads me on to the next subject. The whole Brexit at the moment.
Yes, we talked about this last week, but yeah.
I'm going to touch it again a bit. All right, Tesco. Good old Tesco. Right, if you hadn't noticed, Brexit's kind of gone to shit again. Inflation's gone up by 1%. It worked out that our country is in a hole. We are losing £10,000 per person in the whole country. Right, that's how it equates to. It's a ridiculous number since we've announced this whole Brexit thing. Tesco, who orders food from a Belgique company,
Unilever,
yeah,
Unilever,
who makes Marmite, pot noodles, Lynx, pretty much all your basic commodities. Even tea bags, for crying out loud. Basically put up a 5% charge on it because of the whole Brexit thing. Now,
Tesco went, fuck you.
Enough, they've got to earn money, and if they don't see it a viable income, so they put the wage, they put it up like you would do in any other thing. So, say, using it as an example, petrol, oil prices go up, petrol prices go up. Simple.
Well, yeah, they're in relation, aren't they? So that's bound to. Everything goes up when oil goes up.
Yeah, exactly. So the same thing, right? Shipping food or consumables to the UK goes up. You've got to put your prices up. Simple as. Tesco and their infinite wisdom have basically gone, we're not buying off you guys. Hang on a minute. All our shelves are empty. And everyone's going in a mad panic over it. So everyone's rushed to Asda, Morrison's, Lidl, Aldi, so forth, and just basically bought crap, Marmite, pot noodles, Ben & Jerry's, all that shite. So, well done, British population. You've scored another fantastic notch there of mass media hysteria. So,
here's the thing, though. I've just wanted to go with that. If people are fucking panic buying pot noodle, Marmite, fucking tomato sauce, you know what? God fucking help us if we start running out of bread and milk.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? Oh no, I can't get to the branded pot noodle. Oh, lordy-da, there's the Asda brand one. That's not affected by anything.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's a fucking joke. And this is what I mean. If you start buying more locally into this, local products and this, then the pain will be... I'm not saying there won't be any pain from Brexit. I'm pro-Brexit. I explained, my point of view in the last podcast, so I won't repeat it now. But if you buy your produce locally, the pain for Brexit, if everyone does that for certain things, I'm not saying everything, just a few bits, the pain's going to be less. I know for a fact there's going to be a bit of pain, but I consider it short-term pain for long-term gain at the end of the day. We are going to get a bit of a downturn because confidence is down. It's like if... for example, let me think of an example. Coca-Cola. Yeah. Coca-Cola, right? They changed the recipe. And they claim it's for the better. And it's on the shelf. And all of a sudden sales will dip because they think, hang on a minute, this is not the Coca-Cola I know. I don't want to try that. I don't fancy it. And then it would take a few people to go, you know what, I'm just going to sip this, see what it's like, have a try of it. And you find out it's better, they pass the word along.
Exactly.
And then it'll spread, and it'll spread, and it'll spread. This is what is happening now with Brexit, because people are thinking, oh shit, they're out of the common market. Oh no, we haven't got these deals, we haven't got this, we haven't got that, we haven't got the other. I'm not dealing with them, because I don't know what's going to happen. How are they going to make money? Are they not? And then it'll take a few people to think, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to take the chance.
Yeah.
And it'll come back on itself again. We're going to be in a bit of pain for probably the next 3-4 years. But it'll slowly come back upon itself, and it'll eventually come back again. I mean, what the fuck did we do before the EU?
True story.
It's
for the EU, for the whole thing, late 40s, early 50s when it was first invented, we did it ourselves. We imported everything from, your bananas, your chocolate and all that. We imported it in like any bugger else. We had our own free market. Majority of the stuff that we bought and had were local British products. So your lamb, your beef, potatoes, Irish, but still, relatively local. Scotland, you had your beef as well, all your whiskies there. Down south, you had all your fruit. It was British. We can sustain ourselves, but the problem is with that is we're too big of a country now to do it.
Yeah, we can't sustain ourselves now because the populace is too much.
The best example is if you look over in America, what they call Tornado Alley. It covers 5 states.
Yeah, it's quite vast.
Yeah, known for the reason it's called Tornado Alley because it's known for its tornadoes.
I didn't think fighter jets flew over there.
Cheeky fucker. And the whole point of it was these 4 or 5 states is the bread maker and food producer of the US. And this stretched for thousands of miles. You go over there, and I've seen documentaries on TV about how much space have they sacrificed just to grow food for their nation, and it's unbelievable. It works out something like a third of the US land is agriculture.
This is it. You look at all the.
You've got to think the size of the US. Third of its land is agriculture. It's insane.
That's a lot. The populace is a lot larger than the UK's, but in terms of size, it's not. You know what I mean? We've got like 60 million people that get, a rough estimate here. I mean, in the US, have they got something like 200 million, something like that?
It's something stupid.
Yeah, so they're not even they're not 5 times bigger than what we are, populace-wise. But the size of the UK could probably fit in a couple of states.
couple, majority of them.
You know, quite easily. You know, it's absolutely mental.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about. We'll move on to something a bit more fun. We've just recently, not this weekend just gone, but the weekend before. You're a motorsport fan, so you'll probably noticed it. On Channel 5, they bought the rights to the Formula E. Now, have you been watching the Formula E at all the past couple of years?
I catch it from time to time. It's just when I have time to catch it.
Yeah.
Usually on a Sunday morning on ITV.
Not anymore. It's on Channel 5. It's the same programme, basically, but it's just Channel 5. For me, it's the most underrated racing series in the world. It really is. If you can get over the fact that there's not much sound and they sound like RC cars, you know, it's really good. I mean, the cars are all exactly the same, with the exception of a few tweaks here and there. Next year, they're getting proper manufacturers coming in properly. I mean, at the minute, you've got Audi involved, you've got Venturi involved, and a few other Renault are involved.
Yeah. The one thing I do like about it is how tight the course is compared to like Formula One.
Well, that's part of the MO of the race series. Is they're trying to bring racing to the masses, so they're bringing it into urban areas like cities and things like that.
London, I've caught the London one.
That was in is it Battersea Park?
Yeah.
They're not allowed to do it there this year.
Oh, that's a shame.
But they're looking for somewhere else. So hopefully,
Manchester.
They want to do it in the capitals, I think, mostly. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's a really good little concept. I mean, the tracks are obviously nice and flat. I mean, the first year they actually went to Monaco. You know, the actual Monaco racetrack. But instead of going up, they've got massive hill. They did a U-turn past the pits and back beyond, you know, where the swimming pool area is.
Yeah.
And round that way instead. It was weird. It was still Monaco. You could tell it was Monaco. But it was like a slightly different format. So they didn't go up the big hill up to Casino. They just came back up on themselves. It was actually quite good. They didn't do it again last year. But, yeah, I can see them going to racetracks. So they test at Donington.
Yeah, so there's enough track for it.
Yeah,
would have been better.
Yeah, they're capable of running racetracks. It needs to be nice and flat, really, so they can guess more of the the power of the the drainage of the battery and things like that. If you're going uphill, it's going to drain more, isn't it?
Where's the fun in that?
Well, this is it. You know, you need to give a bit of a challenge, but next year it's getting big time. I mean, next year BMW are formally in it. They're going to be in it, and the year after that, Mercedes are going to be in it.
So basically, they've just made the German.
Well, this is it. The DTM battles
are
going to be.
I was thinking the DTM in German form.
This is it. The BMW are basically, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, they came up with a statement to say where they were heading motorsport-wise, and they said the three-pronged attack was going to be DTM, Formula E, and the World Endurance Championships in the GT class. So it's really, if you BMW fans, it's pretty exciting the next year or so. So yeah, but Formula E for me, it's a growing formula. I mean, people are starting to choose Formula E over Formula One now because it's growing that big, and it's getting that many races. I mean, next year the power plants are going to be made. At the minute, they're made by Renault. And what they've got to do at a pit lane is they've got to pull the car up, jump out of the car, and jump into another one because the power packs won't go long enough to stay in the car and let them go in. But next year, apparently they're being made by McLaren. Now, that will mean, apparently, because they've got a boost in output and a boost in storage, that they can go a whole race without having to switch cars.
Yeah. Which
means they can come in and do proper pit stops like tyre changes and things like that, where at the minute they can't do. So for me, the future's promising for Formula E, and I enjoy it because the racing's close, and it means the best drivers get to the front. Which, Sebastian Buemi's battering it at the minute.
Yeah,
and you'll know Sebastian Buemi from the Toyota in WEC.
Yeah,
Now, there has been a WEC race this weekend just gone, which I'm 2 hours into watching, and the Toyotas are really competitive in it at the minute. Now, I do know how close the race finish was, but I don't know the actual finish. Have you seen any of it?
No, I haven't.
Right, well, the race finish is the Japanese 6 hours of Fuji, so it's in Japan. Apparently, the race finish after 6 hours of racing was 1.6 seconds. 1.6 seconds separated first from second after 6 hours of racing, Alan.
Yeah.
Which is mental. Absolutely mental. Normally these races are won by normally a lap or two.
Yeah.
1.6 seconds is crazy. You mean you don't even get them that close in sprint racing?
It's absolutely mental.
So, yeah. Anything else you want to talk about, bud?
Well, it's a bit of a hard one there. Right, it was a link you sent to me about Audi pulling out of Le Mans.
Yes, that's about, sticking with motor racing. Yeah, apparently Audi are pulling out of the World Endurance Championships, which is a massive shock move, because they're basically dominating. They're the Ferrari of the World Endurance Championships, if you can see Formula One. It's hard to imagine World Endurance Championships without Audi.
Yeah, much.
They've been a fixture since the mid-90s, and in one form or another, whether it's been a full-blown manufacturer or privateer running one of their cars for them, like Team Yoast, for example. But there's been basically, I think it's to do with the parent company Volkswagen, and it's to do with the diesel scandal.
Test.
Yeah, the emissions test. It's cost them billions.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got to scale back a lot, and they don't want attention being drawn to their diesel side of their engines. Now, what does fucking Audi run on in the World Endurance Championships?
A diesel.
It's a diesel hybrid. So, it's successful, but it's still a diesel. They don't want the attention that would bring. So, apparently, they're going to close it off completely at the end of 2017. Now, which is a big blow, because apparently, what they were planning to do, because Audi, before, what they did in the mid-2000s was, we're absolutely smashing the fuck out of everyone with petrol engines. You know what we're going to do, just to make things interesting? We're going to make a car out and run it on diesel. The same thing you run your bleeding Mercedes Sprinter van on.
Yeah, and then 5 years later, they went, let's play with this a little bit more. Let's make it a hybrid.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous now. The top cars now have 1,500 horsepower with the hybrid on. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, to put that in perspective, that's twice the power of a Formula One car.
Yeah.
But apparently it's a shame, because apparently Audi from 2018 onwards, or maybe 2019, they were planning on running a prototype race car in the World Endurance Championships on fucking a hydrogen cell.
See, that I would have loved to see that.
Yeah, running it on a hydrogen.
Now, what they could do here is, because Audi's Audi and pretty much owns every European car manufacturer going, they could go to like Lamborghini or Porsche, something like that, and go, here, we've got this concept engine. Do you guys want to run it, on behalf of us?
You see, this is what I think they would do. The Audi name, I think this statement potentially could be very misleading, because Audi obviously are part of a group of manufacturers which Volkswagen own. Now, Audi, obviously, they're notorious now for having a diesel-powered hybrid car. We're the only car that runs it. All the others run petrols. But what they could do, like you say, is they could rebrand. Now, I don't think they'd give it to Porsche, because Porsche will obviously still be there with their petrol hybrid. Oh, yeah. So they'll stay in the thing. What I think they'll do is they'll move it over to another manufacturer that's in their stable. And you pointed a name out there which, is very interesting. Lamborghini. Lamborghini's a cracking shout.
Yeah? Here's one thing. I've just thought then, two more. Fiat's
that's not nothing to do with Volkswagen. Oh, no, it is, isn't it? Yes, it is. I tell a lie, it is. Because they're owned by Volkswagen, and that means Volkswagen own Ferrari. So why couldn't they pull the Ferrari name out?
No, I haven't finished yet. Lancia.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a blast from the past. That's a very nostalgic name.
Lancia, for people who aren't into their racing, Lancia are well known in the late 70s, 80s, and early 90s for their World Rally Championships.
Yeah, the Group B monster cars, which got banned.
Yeah, the class. Is it Class 2?
Yeah.
Class 2 monster cars. Basically, these things were unlimited power, unlimited setup, no restrictions or anything, and they could do crazy, crazy speeds. Unfortunately, due to a high percentage of spectator accidents, where they were just literally running over people as they come flying off the course, the Class 2 was banned and introduced World Rally Sports as we know it now, unfortunately. But Lancia, since then, were on decline. Audi, back in the early 2000s, bought Lancia, the name Lancia, and they've only made exclusive cars. Not very popular these days, but there is that name. It's a sports icon.
It's like the Alpine name with Renault. Renault brought, obviously they own the Alpine name, and they were famous for having, Alpine, shall I say? Alpine, not Alpine. And they were famous for having really, really good and really successful rally cars in the 60s and early 70s. Now, they brought the name back, but for LMP2 prototypes in World Endurance Championships.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not unheard of to bring an old name back and rebirth it in a racing formula.
With Lotus. Lotus has reappeared.
And then disappeared again.
Well,
but yeah, I get where you're coming from, mate. I do get where you're coming from.
Worth as well. They're always going to be around. But...
Yeah, that's true. So, if you want to sample you want to see what one of these Lotuses Lancias that Alan was talking about is about, all you need to do is go to an arcade and find yourself a Sega Rally 1 or 2. And you'll find it there. One of the old school arcades. It'll be on that. And speaking of old school games and video games and things like that, when is a game considered retro? How long has it got to be before you consider a game retro?
I say anything 10 years.
See, I had a conversation on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, and it really brought my piss to a boil. I mean, someone said to me, I was reading the comments or something, says, I like getting my old 360 out, I love playing the old retro games. I thought, you fucking taking the piss?
I still have half my 360 games.
I have my 360 set up with the Kinect now in the main room. I've got me, my son likes watching what he calls Choc videos, which is the mystery eggs. You like to see mystery eggs getting opened up and looking at them. He calls them Choc videos. But we put it there for the fitness side of things, because we've got like the Zumba game, and we've got the training video game for the Kinect and things like that. I've also got it set up for Guitar Hero, because I like a bit of Guitar Hero every now and again. The old-fashioned one, not this fucking new one. But anyway, someone was saying that 360 games are retro. I thought, you're taking the piss. I barely consider PS2 games, retro.
Saying that, it's 2016, isn't it?
Yeah.
When did 360 come out?
2006, I think.
10 years. So, first gen... Well, yeah, the first gen on the 360 games, i.e. Perfect Dark, Zero, trying to think of the top of my head, Forza 3,
Forza 2, mate.
That many Gears of War, first Gears of War. They would be classed as retro now, because you've got to have that 10-year period. They've got to be 10 years or more.
You see, this is where I've got to disagree. Because why I consider it is, yes, it's a certain. I go with 2 generations back is what I call retro. So you're going back to PS2 is what I consider now retro. The original Xbox is retro. The GameCube is retro.
If you say say 10 years ago, 2006. Here's me showing my age now, right? I'd class the Mega Drive as retro. but the Mega Drive was going strong in 1996.
Yes, but it's at that point it still wasn't 2 generations back. I mean, back then, well, it could have been technically. I'm not thinking back. It was all because there was that many consoles came out at once. So in the mid '90s, it's hard to figure out what's retro and what's not. But what I got to disagree with you with on that 10-year gap thing is the way I see it is: can a Xbox 360 from 2006 play WWE 2K17? Yes, it can. So therefore, I can't consider that retro. But I do see where you're coming from because of the age of the games that originally came out on that system are over 10 years old. But this is why I go generationally, because the machine itself isn't retro because it can play a game that's only just literally came out last week. Whereas like 2 generations ago is the PS2 and no games get produced for the PS2. In fact, even that's arguable because the last Final Fantasy 11 server for the PS2 only got shut down in April this year. So, that's even, contentious depending on what your viewpoint is.
All right, well, we could say it this way. Anything that... Right. For the newer generation people, that internet is everything, and you can't remember life without the internet. We'll put it down this way. Anything that cannot connect to the internet, or the servers have finished for that Z console, is classed as retro. Therefore,
I could go with that.
Therefore, it is dead.
So therefore, that you're talking PS2, Xbox. GameCube, from that generation onwards. So basically, any machine that came out around about 2001 would be considered retro. Yeah, which means now finally we can say that every single Sega console that came out is now officially retro. Because the Dreamcast is now officially retro, because a lot of people do not consider that game that true retro, which is a crime. Now, I'll tell you why it's retro. Because the machine fucking died in 2002. Yeah. It died. It ceased to be. It ceased to be in 2002. Now, here's a question for you. Look at the original Xbox pad. What is it very similar looking to?
Well, that's because Microsoft bought the copyright for the controller and modified it so it was the same as... similar design, because the way it fitted in people's hands.
The problem was they built it too fucking big. It was like a Dreamcast controller on roids.
Yeah, so a year later they bring out the S series of the controller, which is smaller. So it fit better, but I still preferred the old one.
I do prefer the old one, especially for Halo.
Yeah, because
I do prefer it for Halo. I've actually got one upstairs, which is, it's nice to, go on the original Xbox again, play a bit of Conker's Live and Reloaded, Speaking of that game, that game online is worth about 70-80 quid. I went and took it to CEX for shits and giggles, see how much I'd get for it. 50 fucking quid. No, 50p, sorry. 50p they offered me for it, yet they were selling it online for 60.
Oh,
I thought, you cheeky bastard, you can fuck off. Anyway, I wasn't for sale anyway, but I was just curious to see what it was worth.
That's CEX. That's another thing that grinds my gears is gaming shops who buy pre-owned games and all that. You're never going to get a good deal.
Never. And I'll tell you how I know, mate. I was hard up for something. I think I was probably trying to get money to go to wrestling or something like that, and I decided, because I already had, this is the biggest regret that I've ever done. I feel like a right dirty dickhead for doing it. I had Twilight Princess on the GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
I got stopped production that because they decided to stop producing it and port it to the Wii. Now, I've got the Wii version, and I thought to myself, you know what, I've got the GameCube version, I bet I can get a few quid for it. I got offered 20 quid for it.
Bargain.
In CEX. Offered 20 quid, and I took it. And they whacked it on sale for 65.
Oh, they do that.
Yeah, I was fucking raging, because obviously if I if I'd used my brain and sold it online, I could have easily got 45 quid. Easy.
This is why they always say there's cracking gaming retro groups on Facebook, Twitter, and eBay. Shout out to the Triple Gs who specialised in retro gaming. I've got a lot of the stuff from them, quite a lot of Mega Drive games from them. It's absolutely brilliant. And people on there aren't dicks. You know, they will give you a sensible price. These groups that will go out to like car boot sales, and they'll go and buy random gamings. You know, they'll spend the whole Sunday doing that, and they'll come back with bargains. You know, it's like someone picked up what was it, like a limited edition GoldenEye for the N64, and they paid $5 for it, and everyone looked online to see how much it will cost for it, and it was something like ridiculous, like 80, 90 quid.
It's mad, isn't it?
So, you know, there's money in there. There's definitely money in there. So, hats off to them for doing it.
One of my favourite ones that I've ever got is I tend to try and collect PS1 games now. That's what I've decided to focus on. And I've got a game called Bishi Bashi Special. And I got it in cash converters back when they didn't know their arse from their elbow when it comes to the retro games. Now they're not as bad. Still get the odd bargain in there, but they're not as bad. But I managed to pick up Bishi Bashi Special for £1.50.
Bargain!
And it's worth online about 30 quid. So that's a bargain. That's an ultimate bargain. But yeah, I have bad when you were talking about Facebook, I have a really bad history with Facebook when it comes to selling stuff. I remember I got in the bad books with the the ex, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to try and treat her. I sold the PlayStation. I've tried to sell my PlayStation 3 with all the games. Now, bearing in mind, I think I had 8 games at the time, and it was a 40 gig PlayStation 3, so it wasn't top end. It wasn't complete utter garbage. It was in the middle range. You know, you had the alloy wheels, but not the CD player. And I said, I'm looking, for about 100 quid for it, which I thought was cheap enough. You know, for a PlayStation 3 about 6 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
100 quid before it was an absolute bargain. And someone, cheeky bastard, decided to offer me, bear in mind it was 14 games, including a few on the hard drive. Yeah? And he said, you know what, seeing it's a 40 gig, I'll offer you 40 quid for the lot. Thought you can fuck right off.
Just some people have no concept.
Yeah, I thought you a cheeky bastard. What about the 14 games that come with it?
Yeah. You
can fuck right off. I ended up getting 95 quid for it in the end.
Exactly.
So I was happy with that, but, one of them things that I did I fucking regretted. But, yeah, it's one of them.
Talking about gaming, massive announcements knocking around at the moment.
Yeah, we'll save that one for later. And for now, we'll have a short break and we'll get on with listener questions.
Hey guys, Cox the Legend here from Lost Art Podcasting, reminding you to check out myself and Gareth's weekly podcast, Lost Art Podcasting. Essentially, it's a podcast where we talk about anything we feel like, including life in general, music, movies, and anything else in between. If you want to send us a topic in, you can do via our Facebook page, Lost Art Podcasting. You can also find us on Twitter and give us a follow at Lost Art Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Lost Art Podcasting. You can find us on YouTube, which is where we're going to have all our archive episodes. Mainly you can find us on Spreaker and also on iTunes for our latest episodes. If you want to keep up to date, make sure you subscribe, give us a follow, give us a rate, anything like that. 5-star review would really help us out. But for now, it's back to...
Hi, and welcome back to the RAD Podcast. I forgot who we are then for a second. As Alan was saying just before the break, you had an announcement sort of thing that you were talking about gaming announcements.
Yeah, this also coincides with quite nicely with a listener. Shout out to Coxie for this one. Yesterday, it was announced that Red Dead Redemption 2 has been announced for the fall of 2017. Now, most people who don't know what Red Dead Redemption is, it's GTA set in the Wild Wild West. Okay, so Rockstar has once again picked up the reins for this game. So you are following the story of the character from the original. I think it's a prequel. I'm not too sure. I need to have a look into it. So, but that is a huge announcement because everyone's been screaming after it. Now, if you haven't played the original, I highly recommend you go and pick it up now because it is a brilliant game and it's fantastic.
See, I've not played it. I've actually got it on 360, sat on my shelf.
You need to get it played.
I've never played it, so it's on my to-do list.
It is a fantastic game. Now, if you're into GTA and you're into like crazy storylines, it's the game for you. The game, the story is just out of this world.
You see, I've got to try and fit in a Mass Effect playthrough from 1, 2, and 3 because Andromeda's coming out next year as well. So my game is scheduled for retro consoles. Is it's quite fucking busy.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping with the Mass Effect series, Mass Effect 3, you basically had your own profile account which you could play online. So I'm hoping what they'll do is for the Xbox One when it comes out is you enter in your own profile details and both you can carry on your stories through, like you would do from the original.
Well, I would assume you would if you had the same gamer tag, which you have, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
You've transferred it from your 360 onto your Xbox One.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that would be straightforward.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that you can. There's a way of joining on the storyline. So the decisions you made in previous games with characters. If you haven't played Mass Effect is basically a huge RPG/MMO. You're following a character who becomes part of an elite group called the Spectres. And you defend the galaxy from an impending attack of an alien machine race who tries to retake over the galaxy. That's cutting it short. It's one of those games where it depends what you do and what actions you take can affect the storyline throughout the whole game.
Until you get to the last half an hour and then it's all fucking finales.
Well, spoiling it. Spoiler alert on that one.
We won't go into the spoiler. We'll just say
the whole principle of it is you can either play your character good, play your character bad. So you have the opportunity to create multiple types of characters as well. So if you are an achievement hunter, have fun because
it's multiple playthroughs if you're doing it for that.
Yep. It is one of these games where you can sleep with your crew. So if you have a fascination with blue aliens, you can go and sleep with a blue alien if you
Tally.
If you want to shroud yourself in darkness and go and sleep with an alien that refuses to come out of his own atmospheric suit.
Yeah, that was mine.
Or unless you're like me, who just pretty much slept with everyone. It's like a whore. It is one of the biggest franchise games BioWare ever released. If you also play Dragon Age as well, they released it was a dumbed down medieval version of it with dragons, hence reason Dragon Age, and sorcery and magic sort of thing. Lots of cross references between them both. So if you've played one but not played the other, you end up seeing like little snippets or something. You're going, oh shit, that's from this. It's like when the DLC pack for Mass Effect 2, you got the Dragon Age armor.
Yes.
And in it, so it was crazy little crossovers like that. But anyway, back to Red Dead Redemption.
I was going to say, how the fuck we managed to get to Mass Effect from Red Dead Redemption?
So, it's set in the latter stages of the West, of the Wild Wild West. So the whole railroads and telegraph poles and cowboys and Indians and all that. So
it's a good laugh. You can literally spend hours upon hours on top of a horseback riding around the countryside and getting bitten by rattlesnakes. And I'm not joking.
Mm-hmm.
It is huge.
I'll have to give it a whirl anyway, the first one. And I'll keep my ears on the ground for the second one. I'm not, obviously, because I've not played the first one, I'm not actually excited. I'm not excited per se for this game. I can understand why people would be, and I do understand. It's like seeing a film that you don't like, but you understand it's good quality.
Yeah, you could.
Do you know what I mean? It's like that for me. You know, like for example, Les Miserables. I wouldn't kind of watch that film, but you know for a fact it's had a budget put into it and it's made to a good standard.
Yeah.
It's the same with this game. Obviously, I've never played. I can't say I don't dislike the game because I've played it briefly. Number one, and I can't say I disliked it. Can't say I liked it. So, like I say, there's no excitement or anticipation for this game coming out next year. But I will keep my ear to the ground. I will find out all I can about it, and I'll make a decision on it from there.
It's such a good game. The storyline is fantastic. It's one of those where you've gone, wow, why have they taken this long to make a second one?
Because they were concentrating on GTA.
7 months after it was released, they did a DLC. It was basically meant to be a funny one. It was
zombies.
Yeah, it was zombie based, so that was quite cool how they did that as well. So, but it's worth looking into. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, I'll keep my ear to the ground. Coxie also asks, what is our film of the year so far?
Oh, you can't do that to me. First one that comes to mind is Deadpool.
See, I can't really discuss because I've only seen one film this year that's been released this year. I've not really had much time to go to. I've not been able to go to the cinema, which is a fucking crime to live across the fucking road from one. But I've never actually gone across the way to do it. The only film I've got to see is Sausage Party.
Yeah, no, I still haven't seen that yet.
It's mine and your humour. That's all I'm going to say. You will fucking love it.
Yeah. So it's either a Deadpool, but I went to the new Star Trek film with my stepson, and that
was last year though, wasn't it?
No, that was this year. That was beginning of the summer. The new Star Trek film.
Oh, Star Trek! I'm getting confused with Star Wars. That's bad.
Star Trek. So that was highly entertaining. Made by the guys from Fast and Furious. Unfortunately, J.J. Abrams was too busy with Star Wars, so he's not been able to touch it, which is unfortunate because what he's done with the last two has been absolutely fantastic. There's a lot of paying homage to the late... I can't remember the actor's called Spock.
Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, so there's a lot of homage to that. And with the guy who took over playing Chekhov, unfortunately dying earlier on this year as well. So there was a little tribute at the end of it saying from the cast and that. So it was quite a sad story, but with the next one coming out in 2 years' time, we don't know how they're going to play that one, but it was a fantastic film. It was good to see. It was like my childhood all rolled into one. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I think I need to make it to make a point of watching more films.
Yeah.
Because one, I've got no excuse. The cinema's across the fucking road, so I don't have to. Like I said, I don't have to. Transport. So literally, I can see the cinema front door from my bedroom window. Seriously, that's how close I am to the Odeon in Blackpool. I live in like a new urban village that they've just built on the old Illuminations factory.
Yep.
And like I say, I could roll out of bed and stagger there within a minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got. It's going to be my. I was going to say, it's not New Year's yet, but I'll give a New Year's resolution spoiler that I'm going to watch more films next year.
This year, you got the new Star Wars coming out. Star Wars Rogue One.
You see, I'm a heathen. I'm not a Star Wars fan.
Oh, you got.
I never have been. I can tolerate the films. I saw episode 1 and episode 3 in the cinema.
You sad person.
Only reason being, mum and dad was working in this crazy Scots bar and said, "There's some money. Fuck off and go and watch a film." So we went and did them. We saw Star Wars. So yeah. Funny enough, we sat behind someone that looked like Jack Villeneuve, and for some reason we were convinced it was. I don't know why he chose to come to Blackpool to watch Star Wars. There you go. But yeah, I'll try and watch more films and what have you. I've got, like I said, we've got Pound Shop finds to watch still. Yeah, I've still got. Well, tell a lie. I've watched Die Hard 2 that I got from there. I've still got Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and I've got The Wrestler to watch.
The Wrestler's a very good film. Very much enjoyed that.
Yeah, I would say every time I've got a kind of a bad habit now, thanks to Coxie, that going to pound shops and buying things. For example, I went to Pound World the other day and managed to get a cup which says Valor Morghulis on the side of it. It's a proper official Game of Thrones one made this year, and it says Valor Morghulis on the side of it. I was happy. Oh. I was very happy. There was also a House Lannister which said "Hear Me Roar" on the side of it as well, and that was pretty fucking heavy cups as well. They're really good. They're 11-ounce cups, so they're quite heavy for for coffee cups, for coffee mugs.
Yeah.
So I was quite happy, I couldn't help but say it every single time I lifted a cup onto Valor Morghulis. Yeah. I don't know why. I just like saying it.
There's Netflix as well at the moment. They're chucking out films left, right, and centre. Netflix at the moment.
This is it. But to be fair, I'm watching other stuff at the minute, which we'll get into very shortly.
Yeah. But, Netflix at the moment, you've got the Hunger Games and Mockingjay Part 2. Just rolling through. You've got Box Trolls, which is a very kiddified, but it's a very, very good film. What else was relatively new? Scrolling through, lots of scrolling. There was something else I wanted to watch. Dracula: The Untold Story. So I haven't seen that, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. So there's loads of good films knocking around at the moment. So.
See, I've not really that. Like I said, I vowed to watch more films, but at the minute I've just signed up to a service called Crunchyroll.
Welcome to the anime world.
Well, I've been a part of the anime world for about 10, 15 years, my friend. But yeah, I've just signed up to it again. Because I signed up to it about 7 years ago. And it was an okay service. Now, I signed up to it again today. Not today, but recently. Well, I'll tell you what, seeing as we're talking about Crunchyroll, we'll move on to Adam's fourth thought and move back to his third one in a minute. Favourite anime/manga. Now, at the minute, if you're on my friends list, you will know that I have started watching Naruto again from the very, very, very beginning. Now, originally I was only watching Shippuden because that's the only one that's available on Crunchyroll. But then, after just having a look through my retro collection, I found an old CD case, and it had all my Naruto episodes in it from the original, from pre-Shippuden. Every single one of them on disc. I was a very happy man. So I've been watching Naruto I've got through the past couple of nights. I've got through the first 8 episodes. So I've just met Zabuza.
Right.
The guy with the big decapitated knife.
Yeah.
In the very beginning on the mist bridge. Yeah, just bumped into him. So it's quite interesting at the minute. It's bearing in mind the manga's, the anime is about 10-year-old now. It's still holds up. It's I've got to watch it in the Japanese dub. I can't watch it in English dub.
Good stuff.
For me, if you have it in English dub, Naruto is a perfect fucking example. They brought it over in the UK to go on Cartoon Network, didn't they?
They did.
They put it on Cartoon Network. They put an English dub on it.
That's what they did. You know, Dragon Ball's. Well, you know, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Universe.
See, Dragon Ball Z is the exception to the rule on that, which I'll just let me explain the thing, and I'll explain Dragon Ball Z's different. It's the exception. Every single anime that I've watched, which has got an English dub, it just takes me completely out of it. Naruto is a perfect example of that because they changed the voice. Now, Naruto in the Japanese dub, his voice fits him. You know, his character.
Yeah.
The way he is, the way he whines, the way he complains, the way, you know, when he starts standing up for himself, it all fits together. The English dub doesn't sound like what Naruto's character should sound like. If that makes sense. You know, the way he is, his voice doesn't fit. Kakashi's voice doesn't fit. Sasuke's a little bit, maybe. I can't remember Sakura's because I stopped fucking watching. But, yeah, they toned down all the violence in it and everything. Now, obviously, I can understand that with being Cartoon Network, but it takes it completely, you know, important parts of the story, you know, just don't make sense because of it. But the Japanese dub, the voices... The reason why I want to listen to it in Japanese is because the anime was made for a Japanese audience, so therefore they're going to cast the voices to suit a Japanese audience. It's a Japanese story, so it all fits.
Any anime I watch it in Japanese with subtitles.
Yeah, that's the way I've got to do it. If I've got an English option, you know, I've got the Devil May Cry anime on Blu-ray. You know, the series. Mm-hmm. Now it comes by default in English, and I have to change it. I have to change it to Japanese with subs.
Yeah,
because it doesn't fit. It does not fit. It's horrible.
Yeah. So my favourite animes. I've got that much of collections. Go for one I've finally finished watching. It's a shout out to Matt. He's obsessed with it. He got me into it. Fairy Tail.
See, this is the advantage of having at the minute I'm considering, like I say, I'm upgrading to premium once I get up to Shippuden on Crunchyroll. But because I watched the first couple of episodes, I've got shitloads of adverts. I mean, one every 5 minutes.
Yeah, it is.
You know, there's only so many times you can have some really tall Chinese basketball player. I can't for the life of me fucking remember his name. Prince William, David Beckham, and Jackie Chan tell you not to buy fucking rhino horn. You know, don't stop buying the rhino horn and the killing stops. No, they'll kill the rhino. They'll just have a stockpile of fucking ivory.
Yeah.
But still, I don't agree. I don't agree with killing rhinos. Let me put that, you know, to the record. But you know, it's a small thing that won't fix the problem. You know, kill the poachers.
So anyway, back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
Fairy Tail, that's a really good one. Basically, Enchanted World. You follow a couple of characters on there. Really good, really enjoyable.
This is it.
The Black Lagoon, which is absolutely shit stir crazy, worth watching. Tokyo Ghoul, another good one. You're saying again, you can only watch that in Japanese.
Good.
Blue Exorcist, that's another good one. One I've recently came across and I was a bit unsure about it, so I had to watch it twice through. It's called Ajin. Basically, you're following a character who is what we call a half-breed human, who's technically immortal.
Yes.
But it has the discrimination of being different. That's worth looking at. I'm trying to think what else. Kuru, so I can never pronounce it. Kuru Muk the. Right.
And your Japanese class led today by Alan Morrison.
Yeah. You follow a samurai who was frozen in time for 450 years and somehow controlled a mech and fight off an impending invasion by...
That sounds as Japanese as you're ever going to get, mate. That's brilliant.
So it's worth watching. That's quite good. Adolna Zero. That's another good one. Same idea. Mech fighting off an alien race. Bleach.
Whoops.
Now, if you could watch any, Bleach is the one to watch.
Bleach is a very good beginner's anime.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Another good one, which is actually Netflix exclusive, Knights of Sidonia. Same again, Mex.
Bleach is on. Do you know Bleach is on Netflix?
It is.
Bleach is on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's in Japanese as well if you change it. So you watch it in Japanese with subs. It actually is on there. There's quite a bit of anime on there if you look.
There is a shit ton. Death Note, another classic.
See, I couldn't get into that. I watched the first couple of episodes. It seemed interesting to begin with, and then I just lost interest.
See, Death Note's ace. A recent remake as well. They did a live action of Attack on Titan. Now, that one, it's a bit of a head fuck, but it's worth watching. It's fantastic. High School of the Dead.
Oh, as you do.
Basically, it's how much zombies and boobs you can fit into an anime.
Fantastic.
Brilliant stuff. Another good one, Psychopaths, that actually questions the morals of freedom. And that's worth looking at. When is someone clinically insane and has to be worth locking up? So you're following a rookie that joins this police force who hunts down.
You see, I
wouldn't say psychotic killers because there's not been a crime of that caliber being committed. What it does, it's like if you ever watch Minority Report, they see the person who's mentally unstable and they go and arrest him and brainwash him. To back in society.
You see, when you mention police forces in anime, there's a gentleman that we both know called Anthony Bradley, and shout out to him for sullying and perverting my opinion of police forces in anime, because the first anime I saw was one that he let me borrow on VHS when I was at high school, and it was called Tank Police.
Tank Police is brilliant.
Yes.
If you're not sure what Tank Police is, back in the late 90s, they released a whole load of animation based around AD Police. So you had Tank Police, AD Police, and Bubblegum Crisis. It was all entwined as one. But it is the amount of tits and everything you can fit into a bloody anime.
There's only one show that I have ever seen where you can disable a fucking tank with inflatable penises.
Yep.
It was brilliant. So thank you, Anthony Bradley, for introducing me that.
Another good one as well, actually. You've probably seen it on Facebook knocking around, this thing called tentacle porn. Now, if you're not sure, this is what it is. Yurok Soki Dojo, Legend of the Overfiend.
Oh, do you know what? A few years ago, me and my mate was going through the pound shop. It was back when the Poundland in Blackpool used to be on Church Street, where the Heart Foundation shop is. Yeah. If you remember. This is me. We're going back a long, long time. You know, back when Woolworths was still around, and we was just walking through, we were just having a look through the fucking pound shop DVDs, and we were just looking through, and next thing you know, Kenny just brings up this anime, and looks a fucking anime there, and then Kenny looks and goes, oh shit, that's the Legend of the Overfiend. Right?
Soki Dojo.
Yeah. It's like, this is being sold to kids. And he had he didn't have an age rating on it. So
you should have an 18 on it.
He didn't have an age rating on it. So these kids are walking out with Overfiend. They stick it in the DVD player when they get home. They're, Mummy, what's that? It's Sammy Snake.
But there's loads of cracking animes out there. You can go even more classic. You can go Vampire Hunter D, Fist of the North Star.
Yes, brilliant.
Original manga anime. Even Street Fighter series are brilliant.
Yeah, Street Fighter 2, the animated film, is fucking awesome.
I've also got Street Fighter Alpha.
Do you know there's a film there that you've not mentioned? I mean, a series that you've not mentioned, which is Criminal. And that's Hellsing.
Oh, I forgot about Hellsing.
How can you not mention Hellsing? That's another good starter anime. I feel is Hellsing. It's only short. It's only like 10 episodes if you don't watch the OVA.
If you're gonna watch anything anime and you're not sure what the fuck, Studio Ghibli series.
Yes.
Unfortunately, last week, one of the leading animators died, which is sad. I can't remember his name, and I don't want to pronounce it either because I will fuck it up. Unfortunately, he died, and he brought us Spirited Away, Takeshi's Castle. No, that's not it.
That's something else.
Castle in the Sky, sorry. Princess Mononoke.
You're thinking of Howl's Moving Castle.
Howl's Moving Castle, that's it. I don't know if Nausicaa, Princess of the North Wind. I think it's called that. I'm not too sure.
Princess Mononoke.
No, Nausicaa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tales of Earthsea as well. That's quite good.
Yeah.
So there are a few of his productions. So in the Japanese world, he was massive. He was huge. So he was basically like J.J. Abrams of the Western world.
Yeah. Tell you what's also a great anime. You'll be kicking yourself if you've not fucking mentioned this, mate. I've watched every episode of this. It was Initial D.
Didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it.
I thought you'd be all over that with being a motorsport fan. For those that don't know what Initial D is...
The arcade game was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Actual anime was dreadful.
See, I enjoyed it. But what people... if you don't know what Initial D is, it's about a guy that's, basically gets his dad's car, and they do illegal... Japanese street racing on mountains where it's drifting.
Wasn't drifting.
Well, it was.
It was normal street. It was street race.
But they drifted down the mountain and up the mountain, didn't they? So that was part of it anyway. But yeah, it's basically about street racing in Japan on the Japanese mountain roads.
1992 Toyota Corolla.
1986.
Was it 86?
86, yeah. 1986 Toyota Corolla. Pop-up lights and everything. But yeah, it's a great, if you like your motorsport, you might be into it. I enjoyed it. So yeah, we've actually got through quite a lot of anime there. What would you say overall there, Alan? You've got to mention in one answer. Just give me a title of your favourite anime. Just put you on the spot there.
I can go back and watch all the time.
Yes.
Stuck between two.
Go on then, you can have two. If you're stuck.
Sword Art Online.
Mm.
And it's got to be from my childhood. It's got to be Robotech.
Fair dues. Can't argue with that. Mine has got to be Naruto. It's the only one that's ever hooked me into something that I've got to keep watching. And the story of Naruto, where he began from being an outsider, no one wanted to talk to him, the story of him trying to prove himself to everybody, and to be recognised basically drew me in, and yeah, that's what I enjoyed most out of it, and I can, like I say, this is the set. I've decided I'm going to watch every single episode, so I'm talking like 700 episodes that I'm going to end up watching. So, and I'm not dreading it. So, it's one of them. So I've got to say that is my favourite anime. Manga, I'm not going to say because I've never really read manga. I used to read the Naruto manga when it used to come out online every week for a while, but it's the only manga I've read. So to give an answer to say what is my favourite manga, I can't really give one because I've only ever read one religiously.
See, if it's going to read a manga, it'll be Dragon Ball.
That's from what I've read. I've read one and I quite enjoyed it. I never got around to reading it again. I never tried, but it was all right what I read. So yeah, so I think that's a pretty comprehensive answer there for that, Adam. I'd say you got more than that. He's got one more question though, which is more kind of like being more rotund fellas that we are. Our standard chippy tea order. Your go-to, if you're thinking on the menu, I can't quite decide what I have. I'll just go to my fallback and make standard everyday chippy menu. All else fails, I know I'm going to enjoy it.
Cod chips and fruity curry.
You see, I discovered this when I was working in a corner shop in Blackpool. I used to work next door to a cafe, and used to give us massive massive discount on the meals. You used to get a chili and rice for £1.50. That cheap. It was really, really cheap. And for one day, I just thought, I'll just fuck around because I'm bored. It's the middle of winter. So I decided to get chips, steak pudding, and curry and lashings of curry sauce on the pudding.
Fair enough.
And it was absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to recommend that people do that because it was absolutely amazing. Now, I can't say that's my standard order because it isn't. My standard order tends to be some pie of some description, chips, gravy, and salt and vinegar. No salt, vinegar. That's my standard. So I'm not a massive fish fan. I will eat it for my chippy, but it's not my standard go-to chippy order. Now, my missus, I was talking about it. I was talking through some of my notes with my missus before she went to bed, and she said her standard chippy tea. So you're getting a bonus answer here, Coxie. Is a chip balm with a battered sausage, curry sauce, but you've got to have the curry sauce separate. Because if you have the curry sauce in with the chip balm, it makes your balm go dead soggy.
No, I'll stick with that. You've got to have your curry sauce separate from anything else. It is there for dunking.
See, I'm not a dunker. I'm a pourer. See, I've got to have it all over. I'm that type of horrible person that gets the ketchup. There's always two types of people that use sauce, like ketchup and brown sauce.
Oh, ketchup, mayonnaise, brown sauce, anything like that, it'll get poured over. But when it comes to curry sauce, throw a chippy, it's a dunker.
No, I can't do dunking. Curry sauce, it's got to be poured. It has to be poured.
See, you go to McDonald's. You get
that's a dunker.
Pots of sauce. Yeah. You dunk, you don't pour it.
See, that's impossible in McDonald's unless you actually use pouring it on your bun. See, if you remember years ago, they used to do the curry chicken sandwich. Yeah. They stopped doing it, and I was kind of upset until I realised that all they do is take the curry sauce packet, open it up, and whack it straight on top of a chicken mayo. Boom! Instant curry chicken sandwich. So yeah, that's a bit of a hack if you like that in the menu, and they stop doing it. You're upset. Like they stopped doing the sweet chili chicken mayo, and I nearly mourned. It was my standard. Come home from Preston City Wrestling meal was go to the Rigby Road McDonald's on my way back, medium fries, chicken hamburger, sweet chili chicken mayo, less than £3. That was my meal, and it stopped me ever getting a hangover. Now I've stopped doing the sweet chili chicken mayo, and I was fuming. But yeah,
sweet chili sauce.
It's sweet. You put sweet chili on it. You used to put sweet chili. But yeah, I don't have sweet chili at home. I tell a lie, I do, because I won some from that in Condo. I still have it. So, so I could just get a sweet, just get a mayo chicken and just do it that way, I suppose. Yeah. So yeah, McDonald's hacks for you there, right there for you. We'll go on to Darren, who was on the last show. He couldn't make it because he was working tonight. So he's left us a doozy of a topic for us to discuss. Coke or Pepsi?
Depends what I'm drinking.
That's a good answer.
If I'm having JD, it's got to be Coke. If I'm drinking generally a soft drink, I prefer Pepsi.
Yeah, I prefer Pepsi because I think in the long run, usually, I don't know if it's just me, but I tend to find it a little bit flatter.
Yeah.
It's a little bit sweeter.
Pepsi, when you're hungover, is possibly the greatest thing ever.
But I don't mind Coke either. Now, when I have Jack Daniels, I'm like you. I've got to have it with Coke. It's got to be with Coke. I can have it with Pepsi, but it's not the same. It is not the same. I can drink it. Like I said, I can drink it with Pepsi. If a nightclub says they've got Pepsi and that's all they've got, I'll tolerate it.
Yeah.
It's tolerating at best, but it's Jack Daniels at the end of the day. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no such thing as a bad Jack Daniels. But Coke, preference is Coke. It has to be Coke all the way. As a soft drink, Pepsi. A, it's flatter. B, you can get it from Own Bargains for 35p a bottle. So that's a winner every time. It's free for £1 in the pound shop.
Now, you see, if it was the choice between if I was going to do shop and go and buy myself a drink, I'll pick up a bottle of Iron Brew up any day.
You see, this is it. You got our favourite drinks. It's none of the above. It's Iron Brew. I got to agree with you. I love my Iron Brew. I'll tell you what.
In front of me right now.
I wish I did. But the best Iron Brew that I ever had. Oh, there he is on webcam. He has Iron Brew. He actually does have Iron Brew. But the best Iron Brew I ever had, it was the cheap, nasty one. Like Panda Pop style, but not Panda. It had a lion on the front of it. It was the nicest one ever. It was not bar. It was just a cheap, nasty crap one.
So you see, with Iron Brew, right? I kind of wish they still did it. It was the Iron Brew Fiery. It was Iron Brew with ginger beer.
Nice.
That was really good. But the Iron Brew 32, which was basically, they went, how much sugar can we fit into an Iron Brew drink and call it an energy drink?
Iron Brew 32.
Iron Brew 32. Shot at you to win your crow.
Cuckoo. I remember that advert. It was amazing. But you know what? They're selling. They're probably not just in Blackpool, but everywhere that sells rock. Have you ever had the Iron Brew flavoured rock?
No.
It is fucking amazing.
Iron Brew ice cream is quite good.
I need that in my life.
Iron Brew ice cream. Tesco sells it.
Right, it's happening. I may have to partake when I get paid.
It's basically, like a Solero.
Yes.
It's like that, but with an Iron Brew coating. With the ice cream in the middle.
See, I'm not a massive fan of like splits, like fruit splits. But I will endure and I will try it for that. We shall see.
Bloody-tastic it is.
Yeah, we'll have it a go. I've got one more topic. I forgot to say we didn't give our answer. Pepsi out of Pepsi and Coke, wasn't it? But if you got the option, it's Iron Brew, isn't it? I think that's our answer, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that last one. Yeah. So there's your answer, Darren. Yeah, we've got a topic now. The vast not to be named, so I won't do. All I'm going to say, Alan, is the close to home is how many children in a family is the ideal amount?
4. Well, no, not say 4 children, but a family of 4. Everything is standardised in the UK based around a family of 4. 2 children, 2 adults.
That's the mathematical thing. Back in the 90s, the average family size was, they even went to the decimal, didn't they? It was 2.4 children.
Yeah.
The atomic family, the nuclear family's 4, isn't it?
Yeah. No, the whole point of it is this. So when you, I don't know, feed the family for a tenner or family ticket to Alton Towers or something like that, it's always based on 2 adults, 2 children.
That's true. Yeah, everything is standardised, like you say. So like a family ticket or a family season ticket for some ways tends to be 2 adults and 2 children. And, tends to be the standard measuring stick of what a standard family is.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got more than that, then it's a little bit awkward. Or even one less.
Well, saying that with me, 2 kids and third one on the way. Well, I grew up in a family of 5. So, I was the eldest out of the 3 adults, I was going to say then. Out of the 3 kids plus my mum and dad. Whereas, you get some families, it's like there's a family in Morecambe, and it's like a family of 18 kids, isn't it, or something like that.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, 20. My wife's just informed me, 21 kids.
Crikey.
Guy owns his own bakery. Mum works part-time as a cleaner, right? The only benefits they get is child tax, isn't it, sweetheart? Yeah, child tax. And they work their backside off to pay for it all. And then you get a family over in, is it Bradford? An Asian family. Don't want to sound too racist. And he's got something like 18 kids and he wants more. He's unemployed. His wife's unemployed. They live in the only way I can describe it as a mansion. And it's all given to them.
This is it's...
There's
the nanny state.
It's having too many kids. It's called having too many kids and not being able to pay for it.
Too many kids beyond your means. is what you're trying to say. My answer to that question is as many as you feel, how many you feel like, if you are happy with the amount of children you have, that's the ideal amount. For example, for me, I always wanted one boy, one girl, and that is it. Now I struck a home run and got a boy and a girl straight away. I got very, very lucky. So I'm content with not having any more. I don't want any more. But my partner, she would like another one. So we're like in the Mexican standoff at the minute. It's like, do we want another one or don't we want them? And I'm stamping my feet and I'm like, no. So, but she does want one. But at the same time, she doesn't, because she understands my viewpoint in, we do have the ideal, one boy, one girl. It's known in the Irish communities as a gentleman's family.
Yeah.
And, it's the ideal setup. You got one boy, an older boy, and a younger girl.
Mm-hmm.
So, and plus we've just, like I say, I said on the last show, we've taken on another girl from the family who's moved in with us. So we've obviously got, we've got a 10-year-old girl living with a 3-year-old boy who, it'd be 3 just after Christmas, and a 1-year-old girl. So, we've got a full house. We've got a 3-bedroom house. The two youngest are sharing at the minute. So, it's the same. The ideal amount of children for me is a combination of how many you're happy to have and not have any more, and the size that you've got in your dwelling.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to, to move to a bigger place and pay more money to do that. If you're not, then you don't have any more.
Yeah, sometimes if you can afford it, go for it. If you can't, keep your legs crossed.
Or get sorted.
Or, put something on the end of it.
Yeah, or get completely sorted, which is my next step.
At the same time, I can fight for this case. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law, they're both... they've got a little girl already, and they've got a second one on the way, which is another girl. My brother-in-law's really, I wouldn't say upset about it, but really disappointed because he wanted a little lad because he's lad. So I could see them try and go for the for the boy.
Yeah.
So
see, this is where I said I struck gold, and hit a home run because I got one of each straight off the bat. So you know what I mean? It's like first attempt I got boy, second attempt girl. Yeah. So I got very, very lucky. So I've got my little boy and I've got my little girl, and that's all I ever wanted, and that's probably all I'll ever need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas, like I say, my partner might think otherwise. She says that she doesn't want any more, but she'd like another one. So it's one of them. It's like I say, it all depends. It's not just like I say, it's a mutual agreement between yourself and your partner, and what means you have available to you. That's your ideal amount. Or if you're trying to fucking be a tax dodger.
Exactly.
Basically, if you want to be a benefits hoarder, then you have as many children as possible, and there isn't an upper limit, which is wrong.
Exactly. You're putting your greed in front of your child's welfare.
Yeah, and you're sending the wrong message to your children as well, because you're putting the message, you can sponge for a living.
Yeah.
So that's, so like I say, there's no real answer to that question. It's all, individual based. Some people only want one child, some want none. Some might think the ideal amount of children is none. It's one of them. All depends on your mentality. That's all I'm going to say on that. What do you think? Is there anything else to add on that one?
No, that's it about.
Oh, good. I think that's it. I think we've run out of things to talk about tonight. It's been, it's been a good show, this. Originally I was panicking to begin with, so I thought to myself, shit, there's not been a lot happened really this week. And then when you sit down and think about it, you think, actually, you know what, there's actually been a fair bit. So, yeah, thank you, Alan, for joining me tonight.
Anytime.
Yeah, we'll just get our plugs out of the way. You can find us on Facebook.com/the UKR, not / the I'll start that plug again. It's www.facebook.com/UKRAD Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at UKRAD Podcast. To our friends at Lost Art of Podcasting, you can find Coxie at www.facebook.com/Lost Art of Podcasting. You can find him on Twitter at Lost Art Podcast. You can find him on, as you can know, with us on Spreaker, on YouTube, on iTunes, and on Stitcher. Also, our sponsor is Avant-Garde Security. Now, they specialise in static and retail security, gatehouse security, and CCTV monitoring and installation. So if you need any security for your business, or if you just want your house or business to be more secure, visit www.avantgarde-security.co.uk. That's www.avantgarde-security.co.uk. I have been Paul, the Hat Guy Flinders.
And I'm Al Morrison.
Thank you for listening to the RAD podcast. Catch us next time. Good night.